I need a volunteer from the audience. Who would like to come up? I promise not to saw you in half. You? Too late. Too late. Yep, it's you. Nobody else did it, and you're all like, yep, that means it's you. I'm sorry. No one else volunteered. Oh, it's not so bad. It's trust. Yeah, you have to stand up, but you don't. It's really not. It's not going to be that bad. It's not even a real saw. So I'm going to sign into this thing with GitHub. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, dude, I don't know my password.
You don't know your password.
I mean, it'll take me like 3 tries.
Who knows their GitHub password? You liars. Yeah, I do too. I kid you not, GitHub is the only password I know. So, okay. You know your password? All right, come on up. You lucky break. She knows it. She totally knows her password. And what's your name, young man? Tom. Settle for Tom. His last name's Settle. Get it? That's not a very good slogan, though. Actually, that really makes you sound very mediocre. You need to work on that. Okay. So I'm signed in, and here's thing 44, thing 3, thing 2, and thing 1. I'm going to open a private browsing window so that none of my cookies are there. So I'm not signed in anymore. Let's go to localhost 3000. Okay, now I'm not signed in anymore. Instead, my friend Tom's going to sign in. Tom, sign in. Yeah, you can trust me. Good job. All right, let's hear it for Tom. See the problem? He sees the same things that I do. We want to each have our own list because that's just no good at all. What happened if you went to Gmail and just saw everyone's emails? That's just an organizational nightmare right there. So, what can we do about this? Out on Firebase, our data looks like this. Things, and then the ID of the thing, and then the details. What if there were another level between things and the thing ID that contained the user ID? So we know it's some big, long, obnoxious numerical user ID, but let's just pretend right now that it's something like dstruce. And then under there, I had thing 1, ID, thing 1. Name. Bib cussin lettuce. Neat trick, right? So then you'd have to go things dot username dot whatever. So let's think about how this might work. What if when we do set up things, wherever that is, set up things, there it is. Remember, this first argument is the endpoint in Firebase that we're going to sync with this dot things, right? And we said it was just things. But what if it were things dot myUID? Then it would do what I just did, right? What do I need to change this to? Do you get what I'm trying to accomplish? It's still going to sync this dot things with something on Firebase, but instead of just syncing it with like Firebase.things, it's going to be firebase.myusername.things or things.myusername. Either way works. So let's just change this from just plain things to, and I'm going to use a template string with the backticks. This.state.uid. There's actually a slash, not a dot here. Things. So the endpoints on Firebase's API basically put slashes wherever you would put the dots to identify the endpoint. Oh, so actually I did it the other way around here. I did things and then my username. Whatever. We're going to do it the other way around. Okay. Now I have no things, and I'm very sad. Let's add one. What is your favorite peanut butter? What's that? Ooh, Jif Crunchy. How about you, Ivan? You're allergic? The peanut butter of doom. All right, let's look at Firebase. Hey, yay, null, and then things. Boo. Why'd that happen? What is da-da-da? This .uid is there. Oh yeah, when we ran sync state, yeah. Let's start this over. Let's just sign out, start from scratch. Sign in with GitHub, just to make sure everything's cool. Add a thing. Jif Crunchy. What's your favorite peanut butter, Zach? There are no wrong answers. Skippy? Is it that hard? Hey, William. Seth has sent you to the grocery store to buy him some peanut butter. You stand before the peanut butter selection, overwhelmed. Which peanut butter do you grab? That way, whether you're allergic, don't like peanut butter, or whatever, you have to make a choice. Which peanut butter? Oh, and they're all sold out of Jif and Skippy.
Also, it better not be crunchy.
That's right. What's that great value? All right. Hey, that looks like it could be a UID. There's some things. Yeah. Sweet. I'm still logged in as Tom. I can wreak all kinds of havoc. Maybe I'm not because I see a bunch of stuff here. Let's sign out. Let's restart this whole process. Sign in with GitHub. Anybody else know their password besides Tom? Yeah, I did just sign in as you, right? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you already authorized it. Cool story. Yeah, don't need it anymore. Don't need it anymore, but I appreciate that. All right. Hey, I don't see my list, right? So I assume this is Tom's. So hey, what's your favorite cotton blend? I don't know. What's your favorite? Oh, cuss. Just say Miles and it'll be safe. Or say Dave and they won't know which one. Who do you like better, Nicole or Fran? No. Okay. Hey, T-Rex versus Spinosaurus. Who you got? All right. What's your favorite dinosaur, Steve? Seth. What can you tell the class? What can you tell the class about the pterodactyl?
Pterodactyl is not a dinosaur.
The pterodactyl is a pterodon, which is not actually a dinosaur, though they are contemporaries of dinosaurs. But thank you for playing. The pterodons. They're just not. It's just not. They're just classified differently. Yeah.
I only know that because that's what I said when Davey asked me that question.
Velociraptor. Now, Velociraptor or a raptor? That looks rightish. Now, are you talking about like actual Velociraptor who's like the size of a turkey? Are you talking about like 6 feet tall Velociraptor from Jurassic Park? Okay, that's based more on the Utah Raptor, but we'll take it. So we'll add that to the list too. Utah Raptor is pretty good. Cool. So, did those show up in my list? What? Why? Where's my peanut butter? You got your dinosaurs in my peanut butter. You got your peanut butter in my dinosaurs. So I got two different things here. What's going on here, man? We're sinking state with some goofy things. Why do I have both lists? How has this happened? What? Okay. Sign out. Sign in. You know, I'm not sure that it's keeping my sessions completely clean here. If I refresh this, I see everybody again. So when I refresh, the wrong thing's happening. So when I refresh, I'm relying on, it looks like it's right when auth handler gets called by the other thing. Oh. Yeah, we're not clearing out our things. We're not ceasing to set state the other way. Yeah. We're syncing state with a couple of different things here. Very interesting. So how is it managing this? Must have two different set states running at once, but even with two different UIDs, that doesn't make much sense. So let's console log this .state.uid. Every time that we call setup things. Let's sign out. Let's refresh the page. Get my console nice and clear. Let's sign in with GitHub. Okay, it's this one that starts with P5. That's the one with the peanut butter. Let's refresh the page. Now those come up, and this is null, and it never seems to change. So it looks like what happened, yeah, it started syncing those same things to basically a signed out user. So that's what's happening. So when we log out, we set the UID back to null, but we probably need to set things back to empty. I'm a little surprised it didn't do that for us automatically. If you want, for the sake of clarity, say const updated state equals this object. And then pass in updated state. Since we've already got some bad data in our database, I'll get rid of it. Refresh the page, just to be real clear. I'm going to sign clear out, blah, blah, blah. Sign in. Okay, there's my peanut butter. Refresh the page. Doesn't come back now. It says this is null, despite the fact that I'm signed in. So it kind of looks like... If we wait until sign out happens to do this, then it's going to happen in the wrong order versus this component will mount thing. This on auth state changed thing. Yeah, do you have a question?
Also, sign out and add.
Oh, okay. So maybe let's update state before we actually call auth.signout instead of waiting for it to finish. Because we're actually relying on sign out doing something else. Triggering another event. Sign out. Refresh. Let's sign in. There's my peanut butter. There's my correct UID. Let's refresh. It's null and it doesn't change. So it's not running. How's that getting back to null without my having logged out? It's no longer running this. It's like it's no longer running auth state changed. Where's that console log anyway? Oh, in setup things, that's right. So it's running setup things with a null UID? But I set up state with authData.user.uid, which should only ever get called if authData.user is there. Hey, seeing troubleshooting is instructive sometimes. Let's call this group component will mount console log user console log or console group end, right? Console.group. Set up things. I'm trying to see what value each of these things have at different times. Yeah. Oops. Thank you. Also, I need this here. All right. Looks like setup things is running with a null user. Even though in the component will mount, I have this user object. Where's the UID though? It's there. UID. UID. There it is. So that's there, and it calls auth handler with that user. Auth handler is supposed to set UID equal to authData.user.uid and then call setup things. And setup things has a null this.state.uid. Before set state happens. The way I called it here, it should happen. Oh, gosh, dang it. I want to actually pass the function itself in, not the return value of the function. Passing around callbacks, make sure you don't accidentally invoke the function with the parentheses there. Do you get what I'm saying? It's just like when you add an event listener. You pass in the function, not the return value of the function. Don't call it yourself. It's going to call it for you. So that was my whole problem. So I think my sign out should have been okay a while ago. But this is okay too, the way I have it. So from the beginning, let's sign out. Let's refresh just to make sure everything's nice and clean. Sign in with GitHub. There we go. There's my things. Let's refresh. I get them back. I don't get any that don't belong to me. I can add new ones. Refresh. They come back. Let's look at Sam's. Refresh. I only get his. I sign out and back in. Now I have a little problem. This.state.uid. This is undefined when I call setup things through the sign-in button. How did that happen here and it didn't happen the other place? Because I signed in on mine too, right? Somehow it's getting called like that at some point. I'm not sure how right now, but I do know that we can fix it by just making this a property initializer. Get rid of some console logs. Any more consoles in here? Nope. I'm setting the UID back to null, which is not synced, and then I'm setting things back to an empty thing. So if I'd had all the different keys with null as their value, then it would have erased them. But setting it back like that doesn't. But I don't think I need to clear these out at all. I think the way I had it a while ago should have done it. So let's confirm that. Do that thing where it adds two different things. Refresh. Let's sign out. Let's sign back in. And importantly, let's do the same thing over here. Let's just do a hard refresh just for the fun of it. Sign out, sign in. I still only get his. If I refresh the page, I still only get his. So it's not putting it under that null key anymore. So I don't actually have to make this complicated. We can do it the way we did it before, with then and only setting state at that time. Programming is fun is the lesson. So, yeah. Oops. Let's do that again. Really? Okay. Cool. Refresh, still only mine. Sign out as him, because we've had some issues, so let's just make sure everything's just groovy. Now this thing is just the smoothest, best working app you've ever seen in your life. Took a little pain to get there, but here we are. So what we ultimately accomplished in this commit is scope things by user. In other words, every user has their own set of things. And now it works. So once again, the afternoon videos may be just a little bit better than this, but that wasn't too bad. So what else could you do to this thing? Oh, we talked about fun things like when you hit enter, add another one, or move the cursor to the one below, stuff like that. What if these things were notes and you gave them all titles and bodies? So they have a name and a body field. It's a text area that you can type a lot of stuff in. Stuff like that, because this is just a list of things. And an awful lot of the apps we use are just lists of things. Sometimes the things are things we type in, and sometimes they come from a server or something. But, you know, it's not so different even from something like Slack. Slack is just a list of messages that people put in. So each message has a user associated with it. It has the actual text of the message, probably some other stuff, a timestamp and some things like that. But, you know, this is a start toward that. So, unless you have a better idea, Seth, I say practice. Practice doing this kind of stuff. Try breaking that one thing into a component that we chose not to do. That was the combination of sign out button, add thing button, and ThingList. That's kind of begging to be another component. I might call that main or something because it's kind of the main thing of the app and you're just not allowed to see it unless you're signed in. You could extract that to a component. Each of these things takes a few props. So, you know, it would take a little work to do that, but we've have lots of practice now of breaking things into components, passing props from one component to another. You could do something like that. Try making a little tiny thing from scratch that does something, anything, makes a list of different types of things. Just practice with this stuff and try to get the hang of it. Whatever it is that you're rusty on, whether state is confusing or props are confusing. With Firebase, just copy and paste what we did here. But just remember that you have to go out to Firebase and copy that thing to your GitHub account and stuff like that, and set your rules appropriately and all that sort of thing. But you know, we're just going to build more stuff with React next week. So the better you understand this much, the better. So practice, try to get this stuff under control. Cool?
Also, don't forget, tomorrow's when we review your GitHub.
Yes.
Make sure anything you have to get pushed is pushed.
If you have any concerns or anything, send us direct messages. We'll read them eventually. Thanks. And super mega bonus credit hyper fighting. Have a good weekend.